Welcome back if you're returning. I've included a few pictures of some of my past projects from previous Halloweens. I'm going to leave a playlist on the screen for you to check them out, but over the years I've made quite a few different unusual Halloween bits for decor. Obviously most of them have been thrifted and crafted at home, but they're all a little bit different and they all add up to make a really unique and bespoke Halloween. And this video is obviously going to be no different, so stay tuned and I'll show you my thrift haul. I just wanted to mention Erin, who's one of my subscribers, and she is living vicariously through my videos, as she said in her last comment. So she's recovering from a back surgery, so get well soon and hope you enjoy. So I usually go into our little thrift store on average about once a week. Always find something amazing. This little mask was 50 cents. I'm going to come back to this little box here. This was brand new. It was still in the packaging and I got that for $1, and it was $1.25 originally from Dollar Tree. This was 50 cents, this little floral bouquet. And this little cutting set was $3. This has been so useful. It's old. I mean, it has a little bit of rust on it, but honestly it's just amazing. I also picked this up new from Dollar Store. It was the chandelier. I was wanting to make one and I ended up picking it up from the Dollar Tree. This is also from the Dollar Store. This was what I was going to be using for a craft. This little stand was $1.50 from the thrift store, and I end up changing things as I move along, but you'll see. I got these little storage containers for $1 each, which absolutely come in so handy. This little cutting board was $1, and this is the second little drawer set for $1. Well, I was in the store, found this, there was no price on it, so I thought, well, I will give it a chance, and I got to cash and it cost me $2, so I was very pleased with that. Got it home and opened it up and was so pleased to find all these lovely paper dolls inside. It is intact, it's in beautiful condition. It is a reproduction of a doll set from the 1940s, and again, I grew up playing with these dolls. I used to love paper dolls. I used to get historical ones. I had the most gorgeous one of Queen Victoria at one time, but it is so funny because I was commenting on the joy of things, and she had picked up some little miniatures and how she remembered them from being a child and how we had to use our imagination when we were kids, and this absolutely made me think about that, how much I used to love playing with these. I'm sure most of you have memories of this type of thing, so this was an absolute joy to find, and I can't wait to put this in my curio cabinet. I also wanted to show you this little cutting set that I picked up. It was $3. I knew it was a vintage looking set, so when I opened it up and got it home, I thought, well, you know, for $3 I'm going to be able to use something in this set, and it is all in really good condition. There's little planes, there's all different types of blades, there's new blades that haven't been used in the boxes, so I'm absolutely going to be using this. I've already used the cutting tools 4 or 5 times each, so I've put them in, I've taken the box away and I've put them in the little drawer set that I picked up, and put them up in my craft room, and I'm already, as I said, using them daily, so it was a great find. This little frame is my first craft today. If you remember this frame, I picked this up ages ago. I'd had it out in my little summer room outside, and brought it in because it got windy the one day and fell on the floor, and I didn't want it to break, so I decided this was perfect for the picture that I'd picked up. I picked up one of those holographic pictures that you see in all the dollar stores. This was 50 cents, and I thought it would be perfect inside this frame. It was exactly the right width. It was a little oddly shaped as the frame was, but I ended up cutting the frame, the plastic frame, off the holographic picture. As you can see, I'm using my little blade, and then I just inserted it into the picture frame, and I now have a vintage looking holographic scary picture for Halloween, and it looks great. This next project started out as, I changed it as I went along. All of these I'd had previously. The hands I got last year, and it was either the Dollar Tree or the Dollar Store. They're a staple there, so they will have them definitely at one of those places. The urn I thrifted a few weeks ago. It was probably, $1. I was going to put one of those solar globes in it, but decided to use this clear plastic ornament from last year. I threaded the lights in, squished in a little plastic spider, and then glued one to the top. I then filled the bottom with a little bit of this really cool greenery. It's like a moss, and then I glued it into place in between the hands. And once that was done, then I had these dried roses from my birthday. Thanks, Eva. They were so beautiful that it was actually Eva and Melissa. Thank you. I dried them and knew that I would be using them hopefully for Halloween, and here we are. So I just glued the dried roses around the bottom of the base of the hands and the globe, and this is the finished product. This next craft, this wicked web, is something that I'm going to repeat because I have quite a few of these embroidery hoops, and I'm going to use this lace, which I thrifted for $1, by the way, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of these to go in my front porch. I've got a big plan for the front porch for this year, so I've just put the material down, closed the top hoop over the bottom hoop, cut around the material. It's really nice and snug in place, and then I'm just going to cut the excess off. I've got this spider that came in one of the sets that I thrifted, and then I glued the spider on and took some moss at the bottom with some of the florals that I thrifted, and there I have my finished display for the front porch. And as I said, I'm going to have a whole bunch of these in different sizes. None of the crafts that I've been making today are difficult, but this one is very, very easy. I have these little brass candle holders, I should say, and what I've done is I've taken these miniature skulls, made the hole in the top of them so that these little miniature candles will fit in, slotted the candle into the hole, glued the skull to the top of the candlestick, and then taken these little bats and stuck them in. I've done this twice because I have quite a few of these little candles. I've done it with a black candle, which was shorter, and the white candle, which was longer. I just changed things up slightly, but this is so easy. It looks so cool, and once the Halloween is over, you can pull the candle out, you can use the candlestick again, and no damage has been done. is by far my favourite craft this week. This is one of my bigger cloches. I took the shape of it and cut this piece of packing material underneath, and then I took this piece of white styrofoam, cut it into 3 pieces and covered them with moss. Now you have to be careful when you are using hot glue gun with this polystyrene because it melts quickly, so you just put down your hot glue and then press on your moss or whatever you're using straight away. So as I said, I used 3 pieces of this polystyrene, and it is it's from a floral arrangement that I had, and then I've put a black glitter twig in the biggest stump, and then the other 2 stumps I'm positioning within the cloche for my little fairy, my skeleton fairies. And these are from last year, and I think these ones may have been from Amazon. I got 2 sets last year. I got Dollar Store and Amazon, and then the little pumpkin came in a grab bag that I grabbed for my grandkids from the thrift store, and it's got little lights threaded underneath. And then I've positioned these little skeletons with the wings that I got from Dollar Store, and these wings are made of like a cork material. If you remember last year I made some crafts with these little fairies and I had paper wings on them and I gilded them and painted them, but this year I wanted to give them a little bit of a different look. So I positioned everything and then stuck more moss down to the base, and I grabbed a little light set and wrapped that around the tree and the base, and then we have our finished cloche. So this final DIY is a chandelier, and I picked this up from the dollar store. I do have one myself, a beautiful silver one that I've had for many years, but it comes down too low because I want to use this out on my porch, and if I have a bigger chandelier it comes too low and you'll hit your head on it as you walk into the house. So I picked this up and it's just the right size, and all you do is you take it apart. It comes in a set. You slot everything together, and then I modified it slightly just to make it a little bit more streamlined. I then took these skull heads, once I'd put the whole thing together, I took these little skull heads, cut them in half, and then I'm going to fit them one each side of the arms of the chandelier. You'll see in just a minute once I cut the little backs of the skulls off, and then they'll sit flat against the piece of plastic that I'm gluing them to here. So you can see here, one on each side, and this is how I've gone all the way around. Once that was done, I've taken 2 sets of lights that I've had from my stash and glued those on the chandelier as well. I've then taken some of the lace that I had and made almost like a little skirt that fits around the top of the chandelier. So I cut a piece of cardboard that fits around the top of the chandelier, and then I've glued and gathered the lace and glued it in place. And then once it's there, I've gathered it up in various areas so you can see everything underneath. I've also added these little glass hanging crystals and some around the top, but once this was, I wanted to show you roughly how it looked, but I'm going to let the fabric drape down once it's in place, because when the lights are on at night on the porch it looks so cool. But you'll see this in a couple of weeks when I do my actual home tour. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's Halloween decor, and let me know which one's your favourites, and I'll see you next time.